Hi everyone, my name is Jesse McKenna and I'm a fraud analyst with SilverTail Systems. In the past, some of you may have seen my colleague, Laura Mather, demonstrate some of the amazing functionality in the SilverTail Systems forensics and mitigation products. For those of you who are unfamiliar with SilverTail, we create software that monitors your website for fraudulent events using the latest in behavior analytics, and today I'm here to show you the latest and the greatest. At Finovate EU, we showed you a man-in-the-mobile attack. In this type of attack, the victim has malware on their mobile device, most likely as a result of downloading an infected app. This malware is particularly malicious. It stays dormant on the mobile device until the user accesses their mobile banking application. At that moment, the malware springs to life, captures the user's credentials, sends it to the criminal, and the criminal is then able to access the victim's bank account. For those of you with mobile banking apps already deployed, how would you know if this is actually happening? One way is by using SilverTail Systems Forensics tool. Forensics monitors every click on your website, including those that come from mobile devices, and detects when there are web sessions that look suspicious. What you see here is our forensics tool. This is the interface that your risk managers would use to investigate attacks against your customers. And the page we're looking at gives an overview of a web session from an individual banking customer. And there are a couple things that stand out about this web session. First, the session originated from two separate IP addresses, one in Japan and one in the United Kingdom. Also, the 25% of the clicks that happened during this session were normal. They happened in a normal time frame. But the rest of them happen much faster and look far more robotic. Things get really interesting when we drill down into the specific pages that the user accessed. This is called the Clickstream. It shows every click that happened during the web session. Here you can see that the user signed in through their mobile app, and as soon as their credentials were verified, there was a second login event from a separate IP address in Japan. Since these pages don't have the mobile word in them, we can tell that this wasn't coming from a mobile device, and instead it was coming from a web browser. In less than 9 seconds, this new IP address has added a bank and transferred money out of the victim's account, all using the credentials from the mobile device. This is a man in the mobile attack in action. You can see that forensics identified the transactions as being part of the attack for two reasons. One is that the IP address changes in the middle of the session. And two, the portion with the non-mobile access happened very, very quickly. It does not look normal at all. It doesn't look like a normal user. So now let's look at this from the other side. If you were a criminal, how would you evade this type of detection? Well, you'd probably wait until the legitimate user was logged out of their mobile application. And you'd also probably try to modify your script, your program, to make your clicks look more normal, look more like a human was doing it as opposed to a robot. Okay. So that sounds like a plan. Let's see what that would actually look like. Here you can see that the criminal's done just what we were talking about. There are still two IP addresses, but the click times look completely normal. Okay. If you look at the clickstream, you can see that the criminal waited until the victim had logged out of their mobile application, and they've also spaced out the times of their clicks to make it look more human, like a human was doing those actions. So if the criminals can just make their clicks look like a normal user, how can we catch them? SilverTail's traditional models look at population-based statistics. In essence, they compare individual web sessions against all the other traffic that's happening on the website. This is extremely powerful for detecting things like man in the browser, man in the middle, architecture probing, data scraping, things like that, but can be less powerful when the criminals are trying really hard to look like legitimate, normal users. To address this, we're now launching what we call user Skew. With this technology, we still monitor every session with our population-based statistics, but when something interesting pops up, say 2 IP addresses from different continents, we can then do additional analysis to determine if the behavior is suspicious for that particular user. Let's take another look at our criminal trying to look inconspicuous. Here's the same data, but with our user skew analytics also shown. This is the exact same clickstream as before, but now we're showing how each click differs from what we would expect for this user, as well as what we would expect for across the entire population. You can see right here that it isn't normal for this user to transfer money from an IP address in Japan, or to transfer it to a bank in Eastern Europe. With user skew, we're able to detect the fraudulent transfer, allow you to reverse the transaction, and make sure that the criminal has a really bad day. The critical piece here is being able to model each user's individual activity and then combine that with the population analytics to give you a powerful tool for detecting threats like man in the mobile. Our population-based analytics allow you to detect emerging threats and be selective about which web sessions require user skew analysis. This additional analysis allows detection of behaviors that might otherwise pass by looking like normal user behavior. And the best part is that getting all of this up and running on your website is fast, it's easy, it requires 0 engineering resources. I'll be more than happy to talk about this with you in more detail, so please stop by during the networking session. Thank you very much.